One.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another episode of the Truth Talk podcast. My name is Jarvis, here with Alex Zach. Alex, tell me, we have some questions lined up. What are we talking about today? What questions do you have?
Yeah, so I guess the first question I'll ask you is what are some trends you've been seeing in business recently?
Yeah, so some trends that I've seen, it's definitely not like we recited this before we
Before.
started recording.
But
Uh,
still.
but yeah, something that I've just been thinking about lately, not, I guess not necessarily a trend, but I still think that it's worth mentioning, is this thing about infrastructure pretty much. Okay.
Mhm.
So infrastructure on a building, it's basically like the supporting element. I don't know what the actual definition is. It's basically like the supporting elements that like keep it up, right? It's the structural integrity, right? It's the underpinnings of what keep the building working. And basically, the more that the world I listened to this podcast went on the Lex Friedman podcast. So I was like, all
Mhm.
right, this seems interesting. And I listened to it. And this one thing that he said, I found it super, super interesting. He was talking about this. He was talking about infrastructure. And he was saying basically like Amazon.com, he started that business in his garage. Granted, he had a 200K loan from his parents, right? But
Okay, well,
still, he started in his garage, right?
yeah.
How did he do that? Okay. Well, it's not like he built the entire infrastructure that it was all built on, right? Because he didn't have to build an entire finance system to take payments over the internet. It already existed. It's the credit card. The banks already existed. So he just kind of latched onto that infrastructure and started using it. Same thing with shipping. He didn't start, building out his own shipping infrastructure where he has like the center distribution center and then it goes all over the place. Now he has that, but at the time when he started it, he didn't have that.
Mhm.
Instead, I think he used like UPS or something. Okay. So it's like the more evolved that the world gets, the more infrastructure that's put in place, and basically the lower barrier to entry it is to get into each business model, right? So think about like 100 years ago, think about how hard it would be to start a direct response agency, right? Because how would you even get in contact with clients? Like, think about that. The
Well, I
internet
mean,
didn't exist.
what are you going to
You
be
couldn't just
marketing?
message these people. What's
Just
that?
walk up to people and like, hey, I'll go around helping your business. I'll go around getting you clients and like go door to door.
Yeah, but think about how much harder that is versus now. You can literally sit at home in your underwear on your phone, pressing buttons, and you can make money. Like, think about
Yeah,
that.
well,
Isn't
I
that kind of
mean,
insane?
I was thinking about like SMMA the other day, and it's like 95% of people who go into SMMA are probably not gonna make like, I mean, they might make some money, but it's not like anything like crazy. If you make, there's only like around 5% of people that actually make like decent money, and it's not even like
What do you mean by decent money? You mean like make any money at all, like above like $100 or something?
above like let's just say like $1,000 because like you can get like
Yeah,
one
yeah.
client and you'll get like whatever, right? But like you don't know
Just
like
just
that's gonna
scam
keep
some
going.
dude.
Well,
Just
I mean,
scam
not
some dude.
scam someone, but what I'm saying is like the barrier to entry is super easy, right? But like if you want to be the top, you need to like it's a little bit harder than that. You know what I mean? Like it's not
Yeah.
just um like, and of course, like SMMA is like way that what I'm trying to point out is that it's super competitive, like super, super competitive. Like you can't even like use Instagram anymore just because like the amount of people on there, right? Like it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think I've mentioned that in like nearly every podcast, but still, it's just insane like how many people have gotten onto the idea. And like so then the best way to do it is to offer something new, right? Like if you offer something new, then yeah, you're gonna be in that 5% that's successful. Like you can't just offer Facebook ads anymore, right? That might have worked a year ago, but like now it's like that's not gonna cut it. Nobody wants Facebook ads, right? Like I've been seeing a
Yeah.
lot of people doing really good with YouTube ads. I don't know because YouTube came out with the ads lately, but I really don't know how successful that is. I've seen mixed reviews about it. Like I've seen people saying that they're good, and then other people saying that they don't like it, like personally for themselves. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, but just yeah, continue going with what you were saying about infrastructure.
Um, yeah, where was I? Payment processing, Jeff Bezos, UPS.
Infrastructure makes it
Oh
easier
yeah,
to
yeah.
get into
So like the
businesses.
internet just basically has put in place all this infrastructure, and you can basically just piggyback off the backs of it.
Mhm.
Um, and that's why everything is just kind of compounding. I mean, that's why technology, if you look at it, it basically goes like this, right? It's exponential because the
Yeah.
past technology is always adding to the new technology. So
Mhm.
it just I forget what the law was, but there's something about, technology, the power of technology like doubles every 2 years, or I don't know, something like
I don't
that.
know where you're
Don't
getting
ask
that
me for a
from, but
source
sure.
there.
Um,
It's like some research paper from like the 60s or something. I can't remember the name of it
you
though.
know, I like now that we're on talking about like research and stuff, I've been reading this book again. You know this book?
Oh,
Uh,
I want to read that book. Is it good?
I like it. It's interesting. I wouldn't say I agree with everything in there, but it's very interesting. Like, you know how we always have the debates about like, passion or you work for like
Yeah.
money, right? Like he talks about it a lot. And then like I posted a video on my well no, I haven't posted it yet, but I recorded a video talking about this too. Actually, maybe when the podcast goes out, the video will be out. So yeah. But anyway, the video is about goals versus systems, right? And how, replace your goals with a system. If you can do that, instead of looking at it
Yeah.
as like, oh, I'm going to lose 20 pounds this month, look at it as like, okay, if I just eat healthy every day, I'm going to be, number one, I'm going to be happier. And number two, I'm going to be more successful. So it's like, instead of looking at it, it's just two ways of, it's framing, right? The way you frame everything, right? So it's really interesting. I'm going to make a video about that. So. I already made it a short, but I need to make like an actual long form video. So you'll see that on the channel probably when this is out. So
Yeah. Yeah, I think that that's something too. To go off like the systems things. I think that systems are super important, but I also think that it's important to get married to your system, and you still have to keep that end result in mind. I don't know, dude. I just remember some very uh weird periods of my life where I would get extremely with like the exact daily routine that I would do every single day. That was my system, right? To a certain point, like after a certain point, bro, it kind of gets futile. It's like doesn't matter, if you meditate in the morning, or if you
well,
if you do your gratitude journaling, or if you do any of these things. It's like there's usually like one key like lever mover, and I would focus on that as the system.
well, it
And always
it
be willing to
depends.
iterate.
Because like it depends what you're doing as a daily thing, right? Because like if you're not getting any results out of it, like if your daily thing is like wake up, do meditation, like sure you might feel better, but at the same time it's like are you like I don't see a result. But like for example like with YouTube, right? If you upload every day, like eventually you're gonna see some results, right? Like it's not just like you're getting some sort of like delayed gratification for it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
I don't really know if meditation is something that you know what I mean, like or whatever it is, right?
Yeah, two things there. First of all, I don't like meditation. That's the first thing. I used to meditate a lot, and it would give me like more anxiety than it took away, because I would be sitting there trying to meditate before, I started working. But I would just be thinking about all the stuff that I had to do that day. I was like, bro, I got all this stuff I got to do, and I'm just sitting here trying to focus on my breathing. It's like I would rather just sit down and start like just cranking through the stuff. So I think meditation, if it's like at the end of the day, like you're relaxing, you just finished up your work day, I like that. I vibe with that. I don't like it before working. Second thing is this concept of essentially action. You do the thing, and then iteration. So basically, um, action and feedback. So this is super, super interesting. Okay. And if you watch my older YouTube videos from like a year ago, I used to talk about this a lot. So when a system goes exponential, okay,
Mhm.
this is going to be a long rant. It's going to be like
All right, go ahead.
5 minutes. Okay. So a system, what is a system, right? So you have the environment that's within that the system is in, right? You have the environment, and then you have the process that you go through, right? So the process is right here. Okay. You have the inputs that go into the process, you have the outputs, and then you have the feedback. Okay. So imagine that your process is like X times two. Okay. X2, X times two. Okay. So you have the input of 1. Boom. Input 1 through the process, x2. So now it's 2. You have the output, and then you feed the output back into the system. So now it's 2 into the process, 2 times 2, right? You're literally feeding it back in. Feedback equals literally feeding it back in. So
Mhm.
if you do that over and over and over again, your system goes exponential because you're literally feeding back in the past results. So I found
Okay.
that super interesting. Like that's literally like a mathematical model of what like action and iteration looks like. And then another thing, so you have like action and feedback. And online, really anywhere, you're gonna have all these charlatans, or not even charlatans. Maybe they are legit dudes that are giving you their 2 cents about what's helped them, right? And they basically give you all these prescriptions of all the stuff that you have to do. You have to wake up and do your gratitude journal. You have to be pursuing this business model. Down and down the list. Really, all you need is action, feedback, and then you can throw in like iteration there.
Mhm.
If you take action, take the feedback from the action, be like, okay, what actually happened now? And then you say, okay, it's a little bit here or it's a little bit there. Okay, now I'm going to iterate upon this and then I'm going to try again. And if you do that over and over and over again, it's literally impossible that you don't fail, right? It's like if you're going through the woods, if you're trying to navigate the woods, this is from Psycho-Cybernetics by Maxwell Maltz. Okay. And it's like if you're navigating the woods, okay, if you have this giant pillar in the horizon that you're walking towards, like a giant, whatever, landmark, it's not a straight line. You never walk in a straight line. You go a little bit this way, you look up and you're like, okay, we're a little bit off. Let's go this way. It's
Mhm.
not because you're like failing. It's not like it's because you can't walk. It's just okay, walk a little bit this way. Okay, we were a little bit off, adjust.
Switch it up.
And then it's a zigzag. And you eventually zigzag your way. And if you just keep on looking up and you're like, okay, we're a little bit off track, correct, correct, correct. That's how all these systems work. That's how like torpedoes work when they're trying to, crash into a ship and make it explode. They're like, okay, we're a little bit off, adjust, adjust. That's what it is. It's really kind of mind blowing to see like how it applies to like every single aspect of just life.
All right, one thing that I wanted to add on there, I know you mentioned what's it called? Like people with that give their like advice and everything. And one thing that they say in that Scott Adams says in the book, right, that I just showed was like if you have obviously there's gonna be people that have success with goals because there's so many people using goals. He like the description that he used was like if there's 1,000 people riding a horse and shooting a bow and arrow and trying to hit a bullseye, if there's enough people, one of them is going to hit, and they're going to tell you that the reason that they did it is because they did whatever, they rode the horse and shot the thing, right? Obviously it doesn't work like that, right? He says that he's seen more people using systems that have had more success than like in terms of like ratio, right? So it's just interesting like the different perspectives that people have on everything really. And like as you're saying with systems and like putting back the feedback and everything, like you can literally see it on this channel, like this stuff. Like when I first started out, like my thumbnails were like horrendous, like really bad, right? Like first time ever making a thumbnail,
Mhm.
ever playing around with that. Like now you look at the channel and they're like it's not the best still, but it's you could tell like it's gotten better.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanna mention, and this like I guess goes back more to like what we were talking about before with like the infrastructure is like today, like I've spent about I don't know how long I've spent, but I spent a very long time editing and just like making thumbnails and like doing the most tedious things. And it's like at some point, like I would love to like be able to like outsource that. And it's like I need to get to a certain point where I'm like able to do that. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if
Yeah.
that fits into like the infrastructure conversation where like infrastructure makes it easier to do things, but then again, there's still things that are really like tedious, like time consuming. That I
Yeah.
definitely feel like I could be putting my time in somewhere else and it'll be better off. But I know that it would like the stuff that I'm doing now, like obviously it'll pay off, right? But if I had someone to help me, it would be like a lot like easier, right? So
Yeah. Dude, hiring like a VA, like a virtual assistant to help me with prospecting, that's like a top 10 decision that I've made for like my mental health, bro. Like, bro, prospecting on Instagram for like just like hours every single day, bro. That stuff.
Yeah, no, it's I used to do it, and I would just like, because like you have a more personalized outreach, so it wouldn't work now. But like I used to just like sit down for like an hour and just copy as many accounts as I could onto a spreadsheet that like sort of fit the description. Like I'd go through and I'd end up seeing like Brazilian names on there, like the things in like other languages. Like I have no idea what I'm looking at. I'm still gonna send them a DM, right? But
Yeah,
like it was like that back in probably like almost a year ago now. So. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, dude, it's good because like my VA is like actually like above like a 90 IQ. Like the guy's like not, bro. These some of these VAs, I don't know if you've never really dabbled in that, right?
No, not
Ever,
really.
dude. Some of these VAs, dude, are so stupid. Like I don't even think they're
What?
stupid. I just think that they're like lazy. I just think that
What
like
if your VA is watching this podcast?
my VA, no, bro, my VA right now is a G. I like this guy. But the
Oh,
ones that I've
okay.
used in the past, bro, the one right now, I like this guy. This
Dude,
guy
you're
is like,
paying them like $10, bro.
I pay this guy a
How?
lot. No, I pay this
Okay,
guy a lot.
well, I know, but like before, like you pay them like $10. Why do you expect them to be like
No, I paid them like 100. Okay, bro, I paid them
a
like
hundred?
$120 for a list of like 1,000 names and email addresses. Bro, okay, you got me started. This is your fault that the paid members have to watch this. Bro, I sent them this SOP, the standard operating procedure, and I was like, okay, I need their first name. It has to be their first name, email address, link to their profile, website, the niche that they're in. I need all this stuff in the spreadsheet. I got it back. It's not even their first names. It's like some
Their
trash.
Instagram usernames.
It's like some trash like Instagram username. I had to go spend like, I actually didn't spend that much. I think I spent like $7 on like the OpenAI API key. But still, it was like, bro, I paid you to put these first names on the list. That like it
Yeah,
was very clearly put in the job description. Need their first name so I can put it in the email. Okay. And
yeah.
it's like, yeah, but bro, I'm paying these people, and that's what like you can tell that it was just ripped from some trash software.
Apollo.
It like it doesn't even fit the description that I sent them. But yeah, I think the solution there is you have to pay them per hour. Because if
Mm,
you pay them per hour, then you can tell them to do whatever, right? Like you can say like, because they don't care. Like they're spending an hour on it either way, so they may as well just like do what you tell them to do. When you pay them per result, then they're just gonna get the result as fast as possible with the minimum effort on their end. Because it's like, well, I'm getting paid per result. The money's in escrow, so screw this guy. Screw this guy.
yeah.
I'm just gonna give him this trash spreadsheet. Um,
No, but
but
like
yeah,
for editing and other things, it's a little bit more difficult than just doing like a spreadsheet or something because like
yeah.
there's like editing styles and then like I mean obviously like
It's
I
skilled labor. It's skilled
yeah it's
labor.
you have
Prospecting
to
is pretty unskilled
it's
labor.
not even like like I have enough skill to do it, but it's just like so like time consuming. Like I wish I didn't have to. Like that's why I love this podcast because like, well, I mean, coming up in the future, like we're gonna start chopping it up and putting some short form out of this, right? Which I think we already started at the beginning, but I didn't really like follow up with it. Like I have to keep chopping it up and doing that. But
Yeah,
you know, editing is not that difficult. It's just so time consuming, you know?
yeah.
But yeah. Um Anything you want to add on that end
On the VAs,
on
uh,
outsourcing?
pay them per hour. Uh, not per whatever. Bro, I pay this guy
Well,
a lot. Bro, I pay this guy $12 an hour. Like, bro, like my assistant probably makes more than like the kids that I went to high school with at like their trash summer jobs. Like my assistant makes more than these kids. Like I pay him
but
a lot, and I was referred to him by somebody that I'm in a group with, and that person like basically trained him on like how to do Instagram outbound prospecting.
yeah, I would honestly train them. Like if I could get like
But I
on a
didn't have to
call
train
with
the guy.
people,
But I
I know
didn't have
you
to
didn't,
train
but
him.
like I'm saying like if I had to do it like a VA, like I'm hopping on a call with them, like I'm like talking. Do you hop on calls with them? Or
I've hopped on a couple.
oh yeah, no, I would definitely like, I just have to like talk to them because I can't. It's hard to get a message out over a text when like it's something so specific.
Yeah, I would
But that
say
goes with
so.
everything.
with one of the VAs, granted, they didn't listen to anything I said, but I sent them a Loom video of like in the spreadsheet, hey, this column, I want it formatted like this. I want this like this. Boom, boom, boom. That works well. Like Loom videos work well for that sort of
Yeah.
thing.
Loop
Um,
videos.
but with this guy, like I was referred to him for somebody that I'm in a group with, and we're in the same group. We basically have the same business model. We acquire clients in the same way. Like the guy's basically a competitor of mine, right?
But
But who cares, right?
yeah.
So, anyways, he made a post and he was like, "Hey, I've got like this really good VA. If anybody needs like help with prospecting, needs like administrative work, DM me." So he's already trained the guy. Okay, so it's actually kind of skilled labor that I'm paying for because the guy
Mhm.
has the skill. He's learned how to do it from somebody else. So then I just take it. I'm like, bro, this is like the niche that I'm targeting. This is like the criteria. Uh, I mean, you have the system in place, and he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, cool. Can you just do
Keep
it
it
for me?
going.
And he's like, yeah, sure. It's gonna be this much. Payment due every Friday. Whatever. And I'm like, cool, sounds good. Send him
So
the
how
spreadsheet.
much are you paying this guy a week?
He only does an hour a day, so it's like $60.
He
It's
only
not that
does an
much.
hour a day?
Yeah,
Is that what you tell
but
him to
it's
do?
like,
Or
yeah.
oh, okay.
Well, though I was like reached out to him. He was like, I'm at capacity. I can really only do like an hour a day consistently, and I'm like, all right, bro, cool. Which I respect. It's like he's not like trying to take my head off with like, oh, bro, it's gonna be 10 hours a day, and you owe
Yeah.
me twelve
Yeah,
hundred
you're about to
dollars
owe
at
him
the
the
end of the
whole.
month. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Um. Yeah, we've been talking about VAs for a while now. Let's change the
Yeah, let's
subject.
change the subject. Um, what
I
can we
feel like
change to? You know, I just made a Instagram, a new Instagram for my
I mean, don't you
business.
have like 4 Instagrams now?
I have three. Well, one of them I don't use though. The drone one. I started. I had the drone one for when I had my drone like little venture. But but now I'm just gonna use that one as like my personal one. It's like it's just Alex Zach, like real Alex Zach. So that way I have it. Um, but yeah, and then I've been working on the website, like just I have so much stuff.
What's
But
your
oh, the other
website? It's alexzach.io, right?
yeah, but I haven't like it's not done yet. So you're gonna log in and it's gonna give you like a login key. Like you're not gonna see anything. But yeah, what I was gonna say is I've been using Google. I yesterday I set up my Google Calendar and I have like the
Hmm.
tasks. Do you use that at all?
Yeah, I
The
use
ta
Google Calendar a lot.
like for the tasks and stuff or no?
Yeah,
Or just yeah.
yeah,
No, I set up like the tasks thing and it's like so it seems so like nice to have it at least. Um just because like I didn't really have like a way of like setting up tasks and everything. But now like I have the
yeah.
calendar and the tasks and it's like it's a good way of organizing myself. I don't know how what other people do, right? But like for me, it's pretty easy. So
Yeah. I like Google Calendar. And like at the end of every day, I'll like sit down and like kind of like time block out. Like nothing crazy. But just like, okay, I'm probably gonna go to the gym around this time, gonna be working from this time to this time. Stuff like that. Just kind of
I'll
helps
just set up the
like
little task thing
have
so that way whenever I want to, like I'll set it like gym and then like whenever I go, I'll just check it off. So I have like a checklist of things. And it's not really
yeah.
like I don't want to like constrain myself to a certain time to do a certain thing. I rather just like have it there and then whenever I'm done, I do it, I mark it down.
Yeah. It just helps me plan out my day. Just be like, like I usually go to the gym from like 12 to 2,
Yeah.
like that.
Mhm.
Obviously, if it's like 30 minutes late, like it doesn't actually matter. It's just good to like kind of look at it and like be able to like actually see like, okay, like I've got free time at this time of the day.
Well, I mean,
Um,
whenever I have like actual commitments, I'll put them in on the calendar. Like if I have like this morning I had a meeting with the team, I had to like set the actual time so I don't like forget and all that. But yeah, whatever it is, like I'll set it up there. Um,
yeah.
what else? What else? Have you been reading any interesting books lately? Just to
I've been
change up the
reading a lot of interesting books lately. So my favorite book genre as of late is of like criminal takedowns by like the DEA and
criminal
it's like
takedowns. Interesting.
yeah, like corporate takedowns. And it's like a
Hmm.
journalistic like narrative of like Like the latest one I listened to was like it's called Bad Blood.
Mhm.
It's about like this corporation. It's kind of hilarious. It's kind of not, but it is kind of hilarious. Of like they made these like blood monitors.
Mhm.
It's called Theranos. The company was called Theranos. Make a long story short, they basically made these like scam blood monitors where like you would get like a blood draw. It would just give you like a completely random result, like just
What?
not based on anything. It would be like, sorry, you have cancer. It's like not. It was just completely random.
Uh-huh.
And it was basically just listening to that book. Found that one pretty interesting. The Mastermind by Evan Ratcliffe. That one's about bro. We can make a whole podcast about this dude. His name is
Yeah,
Paul
we should probably
LaRue.
save this good stuff for like another one, like books and
Yeah,
stuff
yeah.
to read.
I'll wrap this up. I'll wrap this up.
Agreed.
Yeah, journalistic takedowns, criminal takedowns. I like that. Alex, are there any interesting books that you've been reading?
I mean, the one that I said, I just kind of reverted back to. I already read it, but I wanted to like I don't know about you, but I find that the best way to like make content is kind of to like revisit other things and kind of take your like get your own take on it
Yeah.
and do that. Because like I don't really think anything is really like original. Like
Hmm.
there's original ideas, but like at the same time they stem from something else. Like you saw
Yeah,
someone
they
doing
were
something.
synthesized from other ideas.
Exactly. So that like the goals versus systems things. Like I don't think all goals are bad, but I think that like long-term goals like have no not that they have no value, but there's too much changing.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this the other day. But basically like whatever it is, right? Like there's not really any original ideas. It's rather like you take an idea and you make it your own. So I've been like
Yeah.
going back and like looking at some other books and like yeah, I mean I have like a pile of books that I have in the back here. I don't want to show it because it's like all the way over there and I don't feel like getting up. But yeah, basically like a stack of like this thick of like books that I'm gonna go through and like see if I can find some good stuff to post about and everything.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah. So something there is like you usually have people that like you kind of like follow online. They have like some good ideas, and you subscribe to like what they say. Like not everything, but like you're like, okay, this guy has like some good points on
mhm.
whatever it may be. I find that it's always super useful to find the resources that they used to formulate their viewpoints and then
Yeah.
go to read those, right? So it's like all these super quote unquote successful people that you look up to, all of them have books, they have videos recommending the books that have shaped like their mindset. So it's like, okay, take their ideas, but also just go straight to the source. It's like
Mhm.
Naval Ravikant, he said basically that, for example, if he wanted to learn evolutionary biology, he wouldn't read the latest, science textbook on the subject. He would read, Darwin's On the Origin of Species, because that's the first principles.
Yeah.
That's like the origin of everything else.
That's
So
where it builds off of.
if you can understand the base that everything else is based off of, then you can kind of understand everything else a lot easier because you understand like the fundamental principles of it. So that's what I've been doing. Like I found like some courses that there's some people in like the business space
Yeah.
who, I hear talk about like agencies and stuff. And I find the courses that I know that they watch, right? Not the courses that they made. I'm watching the courses that I know they watch and that they, based a lot of their ideas off of. And it's super, super interesting because it's basically like, oh, okay, like that's where all this stuff is coming from.
Mm,
So I find
yeah.
that super interesting.
Interesting, yeah. Yeah, see stuff like like I would love to chop like a section like this out of the podcast and like repost it. I don't know if you've seen other podcasts, but they do that where like they'll chop up a section like that and just repost it so it's more content. Like that was off topic, but that's what I was thinking at the time.
Yeah, because that
So
was
I
a
said
banger take right there.
it. But yeah, no. I definitely agree with that. Like going back to the original source, right? Um
Yeah.
like that's how I've learned a lot of the stuff, right? That's how I got do you know what's the guy's name? Russell Brunson or whatever? I got that book from
Yeah,
watching
I got
another
his
video. I
book
don't even
back there.
remember what video it was, but all he has like the online
.com.
secret.com secrets. But yeah. No, it's really interesting that you can find what?
It's off topic. I remember I was reading .com secrets like in class, like during
I
school.
read it. I read that book in class too. I'm not
I
gonna
was like,
lie.
bro, school, screw school. I'm reading this book. So, uh, bro, I think we were actually probably in the same class. We were in like Miss
I
Lee's
know
class.
I was reading it like when I changed schools, not
Oh,
at like the old school.
dude,
Yeah,
I've read so many books in class. Like I've probably like gotten more education.
out
Not
of the
probably.
books that you
I have gotten more
read.
educations from those books than I ever got in school. I read a
Well,
lot of those
it's
books
just
in
like in
school.
a lot of the classes, like I'll just finish my work too quick, and it's like I'm just like sitting there. It's like I'd rather just like do something, and
But
I
do you get
can't.
like, bro? I always got like the plebs. They would like harass me for
Yeah,
reading. They
like
would
when
be
you're
like,
trying to read, and they're like, "What are you
"Oh,
reading?"
Joe's reading a book." Bro, all right, not gonna name names, but like, bro, we went to the same school. Just for the
Uh-huh.
viewers, we went to the same school. I remember like I was like reading like The Magic of Thinking Big by David Schwartz. And I was just getting like harassed, bro. They're like, "Oh, Joe's gonna be successful." And I was like, bro, let me
Let me
read my
breathe.
book in peace.
Yeah, no,
But
but
yeah,
I
the
think it's like
pleb
that
do
with a
the
lot of things. Like
do the
you can do
plebs make fun of
anything.
you though?
Yeah,
The
but
plebs always like harass me.
mostly when I'm checking YouTube analytics in class, and it just see I see like all the views and everything, and it's like but yeah.
Yes, sir. Bro, they're hating. They're
Yeah, they're
hating.
hating. That's what it is. But no, I think we're kind of running out of time here. So is there anything you want to add? And also, what are we thinking for the title of this video? Because I have to title it. So,
Joe Jarvis talks about
dude,
business infrastructure, trash VAs, and book recommendations.
business structure, infrastructure, business infrastructure, and outsourcing. That would be good.
Joe Jarvis talks about getting scammed by Filipino VAs.
It's so oddly specific. But no. Yeah. Anything else you
Actually,
want to add?
I don't think she was Filipino. I think she was like Pakistan or something.
Anything else you want to add?
Nah, I think that's it.
Yeah, I think we're all good. So I'll see. This is the eighth edition of the podcast. If you got to this point,
Isn't it the ninth?
please. Oh
Last
wait,
one
this is
was
the
eight.
ninth. This is the ninth. Yeah, what am I doing? Ninth edition. It's because I just uploaded the eighth one. No, ninth edition of this podcast. We're one away from getting to 10 podcasts. For
Yes,
the 10th
sir.
one, I need to get someone to get on the podcast. The reason I haven't done it yet is because I wanted to get some content on my Instagram before I reach out to people. So that way, like, they see, like, I'm legit. So I'm gonna get some content out in the next couple days on my Instagram, and we're gonna see if we can get somebody on for the 10th episode special.
Yes,
I
sir.
like the sound of that. So
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
if you guys just playing the video, please subscribe and drop a like on the video. Anything else, Joe?
That's it.
All right. Bye bye.